Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm uploading after a really long time because I was really focused on some of my work and getting some certifications so I can, hopefully get some more money. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Tanmay and I have been living in Japan and working in Japan for the past few years. And in this video, I will give you a very basic rundown of how did I started working in Japan and how the experience has been until now and what you can learn through my experiences and decide whether you want to work in Japan or not. So let's get started. So in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to introduce you about 5 different things. So the first one will be my self-introduction, and the second one will be how did I find my job in Japan. The third will be how I have been experiencing my job in Japan. So from entering Japan until now, how my experience has been. The fourth will be what I will be doing in the future after my work experience in Japan. And the fifth will be about you. So the things which you need to think about, the things which you need to consider before coming to Japan. So let's get started. So for the first part, so my name is Tanmay. I am from India and I did my bachelor's in Japanese studies. You can also, some people also say it Japanology. I did it for 3 years. Then I graduated my university from India and then I did my master's in Germany in East Asian studies. So my main focus initially was Japanese studies and Japan in general, but I thought that was not enough. So I expanded my horizons and then just encompassed the whole of East Asia along with some parts of Southeast Asia, mainly Indonesia. In my university days, I mostly focused on things which were a little bit analytical in nature, so I focused more on quantitative studies, quantitative social sciences, and in my bachelor's as well as in my master's, I focused on things like quantitative research or logistic regression models, and in the recent years I have been focusing on machine learning models, which have been have become quite a popular thing in the past few years. And that background helps me bring you to the next point. The next point is about working in Japan. How did I get my job in Japan? So to expand upon my self-introduction, I am working as a systems engineer in Japan. System engineer is the way you say it in Japanese. To give you like a very simple definition of what a system engineer is in the context of IT, because I work in IT, is that a system engineer is basically a person who designs, integrates and maintains complex IT infrastructure or IT systems. They look at the big picture, they look at the big system and make sure and ensure that the system along with its different parts are working smoothly, efficiently and integrate properly in an IT infrastructure. For example, system engineers maintain servers. If you're working in cloud, making sure that the servers or the cloud servers are properly managed. They work in security. They also work in the field of designing systems. They can also sometimes work in front-end development, and they can also work in back-end development as well. It is a role which requires a blend of technical knowledge and project management skills and the ability to blend those two together. Although by definition, system engineering sounds very, very complicated, the field of system engineering in Japan is quite welcoming, even for people who are not technically or purely from the field of STEM, such as myself. I think one of the reasons why people which are not from the STEM are also able to join the field of system engineering is because system engineering really values the ability of problem solving, communication, and the ability to see the big picture. And also, in Japanese companies, technical knowledge is usually taught on the job, and there's a word for it, it's called Kenshu. And another thing is they make you go through a lot of different certification programs which make you understand the basic fundamentals of computer science and also get a lot of technical knowledge through it. And the same case has been for me as well. So I work as a system engineer, so technically a cloud engineer. I work in the field of clouds, so technically with Google Cloud and AWS. I deploy virtual machines and I maintain security across the whole system. It might sound difficult, but once you study about it a lot and you get certifications and you also get on-the-job training, it becomes very, very easy to do those things. So this brings me to the third point of my experience working in Japan until now. So for me, the experience has been fairly positive. Japanese IT companies in general are comparatively more liberal compared to more traditional sectors such as the automotive sector or the banking sector. So IT companies in Japan can be a little lenient, just a little lenient in terms of, let's say, dress code, because you can wear whatever you want, hopefully. And you can also work for flexible hours as well. So you can start, in my company, I can start at 8 a.m. and end at 5 p.m. I can start at 9 and at 6 until I fulfill my 8 hours. That is not a problem. And also making sure that, I also meet my targets. In those things, Japanese IT companies are fairly flexible, and many companies nowadays, especially if you're working in Tokyo, also offer you hybrid work. So you can work from home some days of the week. They can also offer you full remote as well. For example, my company offers full remote and also offers hybrid as well. And this has been, becoming a norm in some companies, but in traditional companies, there's still, you go to the office and work as well. One interesting aspect which I've observed of the new modern IT companies in Japan is the fact that they focus mostly on achieving objectives rather than working or counting hours. I think that is a nice contrast to the common stereotype that Japanese companies in general usually focus strictly on long working hours. I have also found this very interesting thing, which might be a little personal maybe, but I have found that in Japanese companies, the IT field is often also fairly global, because most of the technologies which we are employing in the field of IT is made through deep international collaboration. So most of the technology is also open source, and most of the technology is also very, very global. So you can find people who work in IT to be very interconnected with the people from different countries, and are also welcoming in terms of working with people from different nationalities as well. Although there are a lot of international global things which happen in a Japanese company or incorporated in a Japanese company, there are also uniquely Japanese processes or cultural practices which also exist in the company. One of those things is the management structure. So most of the companies in Japan, whether they're IT or not, usually have a decision-making structure which comes from top down. So the top people usually make the decision, and then it trickles down to every other department. While many of the Japanese companies, Japanese IT companies have moved to horizontal management structure. If you're not used to top-down structures, it might be a little difficult for you to get used to, but eventually you do get used to it as well. In terms of work-life balance, I think it's pretty nice compared to most of the industries in Japan. So for me currently right now, I'm working from my home, and it has been pretty nice. I usually work 4 days a week from home and 1 day at the office. And even if I don't want to go to the office, I work all 5 days from my home. And I think, that is becoming a norm in many of the modern IT companies. And I think that is something which is a very mirokuteki point, a very appealing point which you might want to consider before joining a company in Japan. In terms of salary, although I'm not going to tell you my salary in general, but it is fairly higher compared to other industries. Of course, it's a little lower compared to banking or consultancy, but in general, salaries in Japan in the field of IT are fairly competitive, and they are fairly above the industry average. So even for me as a new grad, I think my salary has been pretty nice, and I'm able to afford most of the things which I want throughout my lifestyle in Japan. This brings me to my fourth point, which is about my future plans working and keeping living in Japan. Given the fact that my experience until now has been pretty nice, and the fact that I can speak Japanese as well, I am thinking of living in Japan for longer time. Hopefully until my visa allows me to stay, and if I'm able to extend my visa, I would like to make my career in Japan as well. I'm thinking of getting some national qualifications in the field of IT, and also probably make a career in cybersecurity or software development in general as well. In my personal experience, I have felt that in Japan, Japanese society usually awards people who are very, very consistent and usually go in a particular direction for a longer periods of time. So for example, if I keep working in the field of IT for longer periods of time, usually I should probably see some good results with my career growth, and also in terms of financial stability as well. Japan lags a little behind USA in terms of modern IT infrastructure or computer science technology, and the fact that many Japanese companies are yet to completely digitalize their infrastructure it gives me or many Japanese companies an opportunity to grow here as well. So I think that is a really good opportunity for anyone who wants to consider working in Japan. It is a really good opportunity to grow yourself as well. This brings me to the final point, which is about points you need to consider before coming to Japan and working here. So first point, very basic. If you are coming to Japan or if you are thinking of working in Japan, make sure that you learn Japanese. 日本語をぜひ学んでください。日本語ができなかった場合、結構キャリアでも日常生活でも困ってしまおうかなと自分が思っております。なので自分の生活もより豊かになるために、あるいは生活もスムーズにいくために、あとは職場でもちゃんと働きのためには日本語を学んでください。Japanese is very important. So make sure you learn it, okay, if you're thinking of coming to Japan. Another thing which you need to consider is money. So Japanese companies or Japan in general has a lower average salary compared to US, UK or Germany or other developed countries. So if you are one of those people who wants to create and print as much money as possible, Japan might not necessarily be the best choice for you. However, the standard of life in Japan is pretty high, and most of the things which you want and necessary things which you would like to have are fairly affordable. So that should not be a problem if you're thinking of coming to Japan. But make sure that you are able to understand what you want to earn, how you want to earn them, and if you're able to afford your lifestyle as well. So like I said a few moments ago, in Japanese companies and in Japanese society, longevity and consistency is highly valued. So the amount of years you stay with the company can really help you with your career growth and your reputation. Although job hopping has become a common thing in Japanese IT companies as well, staying with one company for longer periods of time is still seen as a positive attribute in Japanese companies. So if you're thinking of coming to Japan and job hop as soon as possible, make sure that you stay in a company for a minimum of 2 years, so that can actually give them an impression that you have stayed with the company for a longer periods of time. So talking about consistency and longevity, this brings me to the final point, which is that you need to think about your career in the long term. It is essential to find something which you enjoy and you are very good at, but it is also very essential to know that should also be something which can help you grow over longer periods of time. What I want to say is, don't come to Japan for the sake of working in Japan. Come to Japan because it helps with your career and your bigger purpose in life. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Feel free to add any comments, or if you have any questions, write them in the comment section below. If you want to see similar content, make sure to like and subscribe, and see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.